Hello YouTube, it's Hauntown here, and today we're gonna be talking about the most prolific serial killer of all time. Serial killers have long been the source of both terror and fascination among the populace. People like Ted Bundy, Wayne Gacy, Jeffrey Dahmer, and Jack the Ripper have held the public eye on more than one occasion, with their heinous crimes and personalities even becoming the basis for movies, TV series, books, and comics, among others. However, what if I told you that none of the aforementioned killers are the deadliest this world has to offer? What if I told you that none of them would be able to last a single second against the real king of serial murder? What if I told you that the most horrific serial killer of all time is not even human? It's time for us to talk about Gustav. Back in 2007, I happened upon a certain DVD box while browsing at my local video rental store, a box which belonged to a movie called Primeval. The film follows a group of journalists who travel to Burundi, Africa in order to cover a story about a huge man-eating crocodile that terrorizes the region. Now, at the start of the movie, I remember seeing a message that the story was based on real events, a statement that immediately sent my bullshit detection radar haywire, since most of the time, these statements are either outright lies or, if they're true, they're so vague, random, and general that they don't even make sense. Like, for example, a movie about a serial killer hunting down a family because the director saw a blooded knife in a dream or something. In any case, after I watched Primeval, which in all honesty I thought was pretty enjoyable, I immediately went online to read about the real events that inspired it, and boy oh boy was my bullshit radar completely wrong on this one. You see, Gustav, who is the creature the movie was based on, is an actual gigantic crocodile that has achieved mythical status among the people of Lake Tanganyika by terrorizing them for decades and constantly evading capture. Based on records found by National Geographic, Gustav's attacks on villagers have been traced back as early as 1987, but he was formally recognized as a singular killing machine by herpetologist Patrice Fay in 2001. And when I say killing machine, I mean it. Gustav is believed to be responsible for over 300 human deaths, and that is just an estimate. Now, Hauntown, you may ask, how do we know that all those deaths are the work of this specific crocodile? Don't all crocodiles look the same? To which I will answer, nope, not this one. According to the aforementioned herpetologist, Gustav is 20 feet long and weighs approximately 2,000 pounds, meaning he is 3 times as big as other crocodiles in Burundi and impossible to be mistaken for one of the others in the territory. As a matter of fact, it is that very size that makes him a danger to humans, since because he's so big, he's not very fast, meaning he can't feed on fish and small mammals like the other crocodiles and instead focuses on slower prey, human prey. Just to put his reign of terror in perspective, every year during mating season, Gustav travels up a specific river called Ruzizi, and during that journey he usually eats between 10 and 20 people on his path, most commonly fishermen, bathers, and individuals using the river to wash their clothes. According to Patrice Fay, one year he decided to follow Gustav's trail and found at least 17 human corpses in the beast's wake, and those were just the bodies he discovered. I mean, can you imagine being one of the people living there and knowing that a monster like that stalks the water? How hardcore must you be to still take your chances and go fish or swim or wash clothes? All I'm saying is, if I was a woman there and my husband told me to go wash his clothes because he's out of underwear, I'd tell him to go fuck himself. The only reasonable way a conversation like that would go would probably be something like, "Hey babe, I'm fresh out of clean undies, would you mind going down the river and washing them?" "No, Steve, I'm not going down the river." "Why?" "Because there's a fucking crocodile down there, Steve. He ate Nancy and Becky yesterday while they were chilling near the stream, so if you want clean clothes, how about you go eat shit, huh?" Anyway, Gustav's legendary status is not only attributed to his kill count, but also his perceived brutality. You see, he rarely eats all of his prey and frequently leaves behind their partially devoured corpses, which has led people to speculate that he does not only kill to eat, but also because he enjoys it. Granted, a crocodile specialist called Mark Ganswana has said that crocodiles never kill for fun and rarely eat their prey whole because they only eat what's necessary for their needs, but you know what? He's a crocodile specialist, which means he's trying to push the crocodile agenda, which means nobody gives a shit what he says and crocodiles are monsters. It's like listening to Jacques Cousteau saying that sharks are not mindless murderers but majestic creatures of the sea, when we all know sharks are bloodthirsty evil abominations that murder people for sport. I know, and I have the movies to prove it. Gustav's serial killer title holds surprisingly true also because of his continued ability to evade capture. There's a whole documentary available online titled Capturing the Killer Croc, which demonstrates in detail the brave, ingenious, resourceful, carefully planned, and magnificently impressive failure of people to actually trap him. It's available for free on YouTube, so feel free to have a look if you're interested. So where's Gustav today? Well, the last sighting of him was back in 2016, but in 2019 some unverified rumors emerged that he had been killed. And I say unverified because there has been no photographic evidence of his carcass, and most importantly, no one has claimed to have killed him. I mean, if it was me that had killed him, I'd be blasting this achievement all over the world. I'd probably use his scaly skin to make some sort of armor and then go out in the wild and become the king of the rest of the crocodiles. It would be hard at first because they wouldn't accept me, but my genius would soon impress them and they would offer me the position of grand leadership. I would build an infrastructure of commerce and education where every crocodile's special skill would be put to use. Be it farming, knitting, playing basketball, eating people. We would erect the city of Hauntown, which would quickly become the world's center of civilization and culture, drawing brilliant minds from all across the earth. I would meet a female crocodile. It would be love at first sight, but our relationship wouldn't be accepted neither by crocodiles nor humans. Yet our passion would burn so bright that we would elevate ourselves above the prejudice and open up the way to acceptance, eventually ruling over the city as king and queen and living the rest of our years in prosperity. That was weirdly specific. Now, could you give an animal the title of serial killer? Well, in the case of crocodiles, I'd say, hell yeah. Why? Because it's all in the eyes. You see, when it comes to, for example, sharks, their eyes are pitch black, something that makes them terrifying, but also gives off the vibe of a beast that operates on instinct, which maintains their animalistic quality. But crocodiles? Oh, crocodiles are a very different thing. Their eyes are not soulless like a shark's. There's a horrifying glint of agency behind them, giving you the kind of glare that says, I'm gonna kill you and I will enjoy every second of it. So, is Gustav a serial killer? Of course he is. And this was the story of Gustav, the most prolific serial killer of all time. Is he actually dead? Is he just lurking in his lair, biding his time for a chance at another bloodbath? No one seems to know. But one thing is for certain. Whether dead or alive, his mere name, the mere hint of his presence is enough to put the fear of God in anyone living in his territory. And that is enough to recognize the legacy of dread this creature has built for himself over his decades of horror. Thanks for watching, everyone, and remember to stay spooky.